Hey, Mary Kay, do the Browns really expect Tack McKinley to start, or will they add an edge rusher?
Well, I do think that they will add another edge rusher. I really do. I think it's vitally important for them to have that second really good quality edge rusher opposite Myles Garrett. So I think they will probably add one in the draft or perhaps another free agent. But at this point, they have the luxury of not having to worry about going into the draft. I mean, now they are not pressured to have to take one at number 26 overall. I think they'll still look very strongly there at number 26 overall at a good edge rusher because it's a really strong edge rush class and there are some really, really good guys. And so, yes, I think that is definitely a place to look at for number 26. But there are still a couple of guys that they could sign if they so choose. One of those is Jadeveon Clowney. He's still out there. Carlos Dunlap is still out there. There are a few guys like that. And then, sometimes guys become available in trades. There has been talk that Daniel Hunter could possibly become available from the Vikings, but they would be crazy to trade him. He's their Myles Garrett. So they would be nuts to let him go. You'd have to give up the farm to get him in the first place, and then you would have to pay him because that's just how it's going to have to be. He is very, very under market value right now. His average is about $14.4 million. And with the new contracts for Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, that puts him more than $10 million under really about what he's worth. Okay. In the last 2 seasons that he was healthy, he had 14 and a half sacks. He's got 3 years of those double-digit sacks. He's an amazing player. Now, he sat out this past year with neck surgery. So people kind of forgot about him a little bit, but he wants to get paid. So there's talk. Is he going to be available? Well, the truth of the matter is, I really don't think that Rick Spielman and the Vikings are going to let him walk out the door. It is too hard to find a guy like that. He's right up there with the Garretts and the Bosas and the best pass rushers in the NFL. So I really highly doubt he's going anywhere. As far as Tack McKinley is concerned, I really do think that Andrew Berry really likes him a lot. We know he tried to get him 4 times last year. I think they think that a change of scenery will do him good, that he got off track in Atlanta and fell out of favor with that coaching staff, and that they believe he can come in here and that he can complement Myles Garrett with what he brings to the table, which is speed and a high motor. And I think they feel like they can get him back to his rookie year, his sophomore year, when he was generating, 6, 7 sacks and doing a really, really nice job.
It seems like sometimes when we talk about this, the Browns have done so much and they filled out this roster so well. We do kind of forget about the draft sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I remind myself over and over again. I try to remind people the draft is a pretty big piece of this. It's a pretty large piece of the offseason for all these teams. So, like you said, they could draft somebody at 26. They could draft somebody at 59. I mean, you've said it before. If you draft somebody in the first or second round, you expect that player to come in and start.
Mm-hmm.
So if they draft a guy there, it doesn't necessarily guarantee he's going to start, but I would imagine he's going to get a chance to compete with Tack McKinley and have that opportunity to maybe win that starting job. And I said it after they signed him. This is the lowest of low risk signings.
Mm-hmm.
It's $4 million. If he ends up being a backup, okay, that's fine. You paid him $4 million. That's pretty good for a backup defensive end. If he ends up being a starter and collects 7 or 8 sacks, then you got a steal. I think that, right now, yeah, he probably is the starter, but we'll see. I wouldn't write anything in pen right now for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? If he is going to be the starter, he does have to get himself turned around, because the truth of the matter is he really has only had 7 sacks in his last 30 games. Now, sacks are not everything. I went back and looked up what he was doing in his first 4 games of last year before he suffered a groin injury. And he really fell out of favor with the Falcons when he came out publicly and criticized them for not trading him. Before that, he got off to a pretty good start. In the first game, in the opener against the Seahawks, he had 5 quarterback pressures in the first half alone and 6 in the game. So that's a pretty good way to start your 2020 season.